Step number 1 is switching your powered rotor system into a glider configuration. Second is to use the maneuverability to find a place that might work for a landing. Third is to fly the helicopter any way you want to. Backward, sideways, vertically, doesn't matter. To make a final approach and flare to that spot. Now, you're still not injured. You're still in good shape. There's no blood. There's no broken bones. Everything's fine as you come in to the place you have chosen to land. It may be a smooth, hard surface, but I would say 90% of the time it won't be a smooth, hard surface. It'll be something else. Trees, brush, bad terrain, water, vehicles, people, all kinds of things. You don't know. You can't know. But you and your passengers have one more element before you can step out and head for the nearest coffee shop. You, the pilot, have to get rid of your ground speed to the maximum extent possible, which normally in the training world would require a quick stop. A serious quick stop, not a quick stop to a hover, but a serious quick stop that reduces or eliminates your ground speed. It's the sudden stop that causes the problem to you and your passengers. It's the sudden stop. Up to that point, there may be a lot of yelling and screaming and what's happening and all that, but nobody's bleeding yet. But when you come to a sudden stop from whatever you're coming in at to zero instantly against the side of a building or a vehicle or trees or whatever, a sudden stop, that's where the problem comes in. That's where the injuries begin. That's where the helicopter bends, things break, fly off, whatever. That's the destruction part. You want to avoid that. That's the last step. How well you do that depends on whether you have had a successful emergency recovery or you don't see the sunrise tomorrow morning. It's that simple. All of our training autorotations, do we practice that? No. That doesn't mean the importance of learning how to stop your aircraft has gone away. It's just as important. Remember, you can successfully fly down, but you have airspeed. You're a moving mass, kinetic energy. Your job as the pilot, the last assignment you have, is to get rid of as much forward motion over the ground as you possibly can. And the normal answer to that is raising the nose and bringing it up to the point where you are making a quick stop. Do you practice this? No. Maybe in some minor sense, but a real steep and then to the ground quick stop? No, we don't do that in training. And one of the reasons is because too many times the tail boom gets damaged, the tail rotor gets damaged, the tail stinger contacts the ground first, and now you have a damaged helicopter. So we avoid that by having the pilot make a nice power recovery to a smooth hover. That maneuver that we are not doing in training these days, that maneuver is the last chance you have to eliminate or greatly reduce injuries and the possible fatalities that come with that. That's your big job. That's your big job. You've got to manage the aircraft to go someplace you think you can make a good landing, and you have to accomplish the best possible quick stop you can. Nose up, tail all but touching the ground, applying all the remaining collective you have to generate thrust in opposition to your flight path. So we think the autorotation responsibility belongs to the pilot at the beginning of the problem, and it does. Get the cyclic back to keep your wings moving at a speed above stall. Remember, with the helicopters available today, not tomorrow, but today, when a power interruption occurs, if you don't get the cyclic back in time, there is no recovery from rotor stall. Now what are you, a falling object? with one or more people on board, and there's nothing you can do. One more thing. Normally, we're flying along not expecting anything to go wrong. The surprise factor means that first comes the yaw and the rotor RPM going down, horns, lights, and you, the pilot, your reaction time to the correct control movement is critical to the continuation of that flight and a no damage, at least a no injury, quick stop at the bottom in an acceptable place to make contact with the ground or water. That's your job.